to infinity and beyond.
Everybody, Roger and James here from DisKingdom.com. In this episode, we're going to be sharing our thoughts on the recent Aladdin event for Disney Magic Kingdoms. It's been running for pretty much the past month. As of the time of recording this, we've got like 2 days left, but by the time it comes up, it will be all over. I'm going to be honest, as of right now, as of just literally like 10 seconds ago, I have got like 2 more staffs to get Jafar. So I know I've got 2 days left, so I know I'm going to get him, because to get those 2 pieces on 2-hour missions in the next 2 days, I think I'll be fine. So
you say that now.
I say that, but I even it's like, you know, that it's been one of those really odd events. Actually, I mean, they actually extended it a day because there was
2 days, I think, actually.
Yeah. So whether or not, if that was the case, as of right now, if we were down to the last 11 hours, I would be starting to get. I would be extremely annoyed, because this event has been a bit of an odd one. I can't. It was not as fun as the Lion King one. The Aladdin one's been a little bit of the drop rates have been awful. I'm going to be straight up. I would send off every character away to go get an ear hat, and none of them would drop. There seemed to be lulls where I was stuck on the Aladdin costume for days, just getting stuck on it. But the actual battles with Jafar were fine. You know, there was so. It's been a really odd. It was definitely not as fun as the last ones. Even though, they've only like tweaked stuff, but looking on Facebook group, there's been a little bit more whiny on this one.
Yeah, and I think, we already talked about the first week of this event a couple weeks ago, and we had not very flattering things to say about it at the time. I think it did kind of ease up a little bit once you were able to start getting characters separated, so that the groups who were doing dustpans and containers were different from the ones you were getting tokens. But then when you come back to Jafar, the final boss, you went back to characters who had either the tokens or the dustbins, and you're like, now, and you're in the situation where you're in, where you might not have enough lamps as a result of that.
Yeah, I'm just looking here now. I literally looking on here while I'm doing this. This is the problem that I have got, because my lamps. So I only need a few lamps. My problem has been, if I actually look here on the actual whirlwind, I have got 12 brushes, but 0 pans. And this is the problem I've had for nearly the entire event. And now it's not even offering me brushes anymore, because I've got too many in the bank, essentially. So
that happened to me too.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't spread out the pans, or the way they've set them out have been a little bit too. I don't know. They've set them up because even someone like sending them away for missions. There's a lot of sending them away with a premium character, so you're using 2 characters to get the 2-hour mission. Of which I'd much rather they have the premium characters have their own mission. Because you've paid for these guys, you've paid with hard money. They should have their own missions. It should even be a bit shorter missions, because you have paid for them. These are not. If they've given us Genie and Aladdin and they want to send us on 4-hour missions, fine, they're freebies. But the paid characters shouldn't be. And there's been some times where I've sent them off for missions for Jafar, for example, and then I go standing there where the carpet sat there going, well, I can't do my mission because you've already used them. And it's a little bit like, well, I've paid for these 2 characters. That did get me. It's not. I wouldn't say it's annoyed, but it's like, well, I've paid cash for these.
I had the same complaint. However, it was worse in the Lion King event with those, because you could not use Simba or Nala for Scar without the premium characters at all. At least in this case, Aladdin and Jasmine, Abu and Genie can at least do one mission on their own, and then they have a different mission that goes with the premium characters. But yeah, there's definitely this, like, what benefit am I getting from these? And that's not to say there isn't a benefit. There's a very obvious benefit of getting them, but you feel like when you look back at Beauty and the Beast or Nightmare Before Christmas or any of these other ones, there's definitely, oh yeah, there was a very obvious straight up benefit for getting Zero, for getting Mrs. Potts, for getting Chip.
And I'll be honest, I don't think I could complete the events without these paid characters. I don't think I could do it.
Not in Balance a Job. No.
No, because this is the thing, I play on this, so in the morning, log on, do a mission. Normally I set them on like an hour mission. Then before I go to work, I send them all off on 8-hour missions. I then get home, I can do a few little short missions, and then you set them off to sleep. And you set them off on, that's become I know some people might be playing on their phones, so therefore they can play and I think unless you're playing on this is the only way you can keep up with those missions. But when you got a 4-hour mission, it's a little bit like, realistically, I can only set them off maybe 3 times a day.
And it's not even that. It's when you get, like the bins and containers we're talking about, those are hour-long missions. But if I'm at work, I'm not sitting on my phone because my boss would not appreciate that. No. Or if you're your own boss, I'm sure you wouldn't appreciate it. Yeah. So I send them out on these hour missions, but it feels like a waste because there's another 7 hours where they're just sitting there waiting for me to collect. I might pick them up at lunch, but frankly, I don't want to. And that brings us to the second point, which isn't specific to this. We've been complaining about this one since at least Beauty and the Beast, but there's too many characters in the game now for the way that they have the mission assignments. Just way too many. They need to streamline it.
And I also feel like I also believe that every single character should have an event mission to get some coins. I think there's this thing of like, it's like Nala, for example. I could send her off for a 6-hour mission. She was the only one out of the Lion King event which could give me anything for this one. And then you have like if they could all do like a 2 or a 4-hour event, or even an 8-hour and give you a few hundred, up what currency you need. If everyone can do it and you're going to be making more currency, up the currency amount. Just like the ear hats. I'd rather they had, you needed 30 Jafar hats, but every single mission drops. I do not like this. I'd send them off for every single character off for a piece, and none of them, especially those the costume items, they were like just not dropping at all. And you're like, I've just sent off 5 characters, and none of them have dropped a piece. And that's when people start getting frustrated. And now instantly, once you get into the last bit, you can buy Jafar for $14.99, like. And I've done it with 2 villains in the past, with Gaston and Syndrome, where it's like, no, I'm not paying that stupid price for a villain at the end because I'm feeling rushed. Because that's what the problem is, and I feel that's the biggest thing. They're trying to rush you at the end to feel like you can't do it, and you're going to pay up.
Well, that, and they did something a little bit extra underhanded in this one, is that the $15 pack to unlock Jafar also includes a completely exclusive... building. Yeah, it's not a building that you need. It's not one of the ones that sends people off on missions. It's like one of the little stalls that gives you money every couple of hours. And I'm not a completionist. I don't actually care. I can look at that and just go, whatever. I don't need that at all. So I'm glad to not spend $15. But there are people who are completionists. There are the gotta catch 'em all characters, and to attach it to a $15 purchase, which if you're already spending money on the game, you probably don't need to spend because you bought the premium characters and the one building that is a gem purchase as well. And now you're bilking these people who've already given you money for far more money than you have to. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So as much as I love Aladdin as a movie, and I love having these characters on the campus, we're definitely looking at a situation now where whatever Gameloft does next is going to be very important to determine whether or not I continue to play this game.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the Discord. That kind of thing of they need to give it. I think they need to give everyone a bit of a break. I'm expecting a Halloween October event, but they need to get us into October before they do anything more. I hope they don't just jump straight into another one. I just feel like this event, it's 28. There's that line between being being frustrating, which you're going to force cut players out. It's definitely odd. I do feel like this event, maybe it was so close to the Lion King event as well, I didn't really feel like it stopped. And that might be the issue.
There was definitely that. I felt like you didn't give us a chance to level up the Lion King characters, even though they weren't useful in this event at all, except for Nala. And this is the kind of game where you do need to check it every hour during an event, or at least every 2 or 3 hours. And I'm willing to do that in bursts when I can plan around it. But if that's going to be my daily routine, whether I'm working or not, is no. But again, if they streamline the way that you can assign missions, if I can push one button, and every character that can go and get Jafar hats just goes and get Jafar's hat, and every character that can go and get his staff will then go and get his staff, I don't have to worry about all the rest. I can just be like, you know what, Gaston, you don't do anything useful in this event. You can just wander around the park for a while. That's fine with me.
I think he was one of the characters I needed to do stuff. I think, but I don't have him because again, I didn't finish that challenge. I didn't get him in. So this is this kind of situation. I like. That time we come back, walk in, and I'd pick it up and I'd start doing. And I'm literally like, no, I'm just grabbing the Aladdin events to send them off to go get pieces. My wife would be like, you're addicted to that game. And it's like, okay, my wife now was telling me this is like, I was like, yeah, it's now come on that radar now that she's aware that I'm doing this when I shouldn't be doing this because I'm trying to essentially come home from work, send them off on a 4-hour mission before I have a shower and clean up because I know I need to get this one done before I can send them off away again later, and it's, to try and, because the events were a little bit longer, but yeah, like I've said, and there's been a lot of talk about this on the Facebook groups, etc., about the automation of the characters, because each month we've got more characters and it's taking longer and longer to send them away. Some people are saying, well, that's the game. We don't want to automate everything because there'll be nothing to do. And it's like, no, this is getting out of hand. This is getting ridiculous because of how many... I just like either send them away or collect everything. That would be the two options. A spell just to go collect all items, or everyone ticks. That would be easy because I hate going around just tapping the screen 100 times. It's getting. I don't mind selecting the missions if I can reduce to clicking on everyone. But now all I'm doing now is just basically to top mission. It's like top mission, top mission, top mission. If I'm in a rush, top mission, top mission, top mission. Whoever's got an icon with an item to drop, that's all I'm pressing.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is we need to be able to gather up all the character completed quests the way we can do that with the buildings. Even if there was like a one-time gem fee, if it was in a reasonable price, I'd be fine with that. And then the other thing would be something like I mentioned earlier, where I can. They already added the feature to go. Click on Jafar's staff, and then you can see all the characters can do missions. Now they just need
a lot.
Yeah, they need either a button that says, okay, prioritize all of these guys so that they're at the front of your user list, or even just an option in the settings that says when you're clicking through the characters to assign missions, put all characters who have a token mission first, and if there's an event after the token missions, characters who can do event coins. And then everybody else. And that way I can just be like, all right, I sent the token people off, I sent the event money off, and then I can decide, all right, do I want to spend the time to send all these guys off for regular currency, or will I do that some other time and I'm just going to go back to work?
So this is the one issue, like let's looking here on my screen. I've got so many characters down the bottom here of having yellow missions to do because I'm not concentrating on them at all. If it happens to fit in line with it. It's like, from this event as a whole, it's like, no, this is too... And also, I feel like you might need to mix it up a little bit between the events. I think they might need to try different, maybe leave the way they've been doing it and try something different, or mix it up a little bit between events, try something different. Because, this whole, go off and send people off of, to collect these little items, where it's like... and then you've got to go and do the sand, the whirlwind or the snowglee or the bugs and stuff. It's like, that's not so bad in itself, but I do think they have really got to watch what they're doing, and I don't think this event definitely has not had the same glow that the Lion King event had to it.
Yeah, I mean, they've clearly got their formula down. This is the same event that we had for Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, and the Lion King, just with different skins on everything. Yeah. You've got the whirlwind instead of the snowglees. At least between previous events, we also had the shorter events like Mulan, Nightmare Before Christmas, where instead of having the 6 characters plus villain, you had 2 characters plus a premium character, and that was it. And those were far more relaxed. You could just kind of chill. You might not get the second character if you didn't really pay attention, but it wasn't that big a deal. But even between these 2 different event types, it's still basically the same thing, just a matter of scale. Yeah. They need something different, a slightly different way to acquire a character. And I'm not talking about chests, for Christ's sake. It's fine putting old characters in the legendary chests. That's great. Let people have a shot at those. But the second they put a new character into a chest, that's
we normally see like a Christmas event where every other old character becomes available to grab, but I do feel like this event, they need to do something with it. They need to be listening to some feedback. They need to be looking at everything and going, right, okay, we need to make some changes to how these events run. While on one, I think they've got to look at the timings, because there was a whole era where there was a whole week where there was not a lot going on. I personally feel like the costumes are annoying, because I'll be honest, I never will use these, and I've never used them in any of the characters. They're not something I use, and therefore you're being forced into collecting them, and it's like you're just delaying me getting to Jafar, because I always feel like this should be the stuff we do after we get Jafar.
Yeah, and the thing about the costumes is actually kind of reverse what you're saying, which is for Aladdin and Jasmine and then Beauty and Beast, there's no reason to not use the costumes, because you have an extra mission for each costume, but if you don't have them equipped, then you can't do them. But there's no mission for not having them equipped, if that makes sense. Yeah. So there's no reason to ever not equip them, whereas you've got Mickey and Donald and Minnie who've got multiple costumes, and if you don't have one of the costumes equipped, you might be missing out on a mission that you didn't know you had.
I think I had to change Minnie Mouse into a Halloween costume or something.
I think it might have been Mickey and Minnie. It was either their Halloween costumes or their Christmas costumes, and it gave them a paired 4-hour action, which is actually one of the hats for Jafar.
Yeah, which is what that's the one I'm thinking I've had to do with Minnie, with Peter. Because I'll be honest, I forget the costumes even exist. I'm completely unaware, because I don't because I'm like that in every single video game where costumes mean nothing to me. Alternate looks and stuff don't interest me at all, so I just kind of blur past it. But yeah, but we'd love to know, what did you guys think of the Aladdin event? We'd love to know what you guys think. Comment below, get in touch with us. Love to know your thoughts on it. As per usual, check us out over at DisKingdom.com. You can find us on all the different platforms, whichever one, so remember to subscribe there. And you can also join our DisKingdom Gaming Facebook group. James, where can they find you? HeroicLegacy.com. And I'd also just like to add on to that, not just your thoughts on the Aladdin, but where you think this game is going, and any advice that you have for Gameloft to make the experience better. Yeah, we'd love to know your thoughts. As per usual, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you guys soon. Later.